Look at that perfect colour. Well, shame about the focus. Ah, come on, focus, you bastard, isn't it? God damn it. Camera's lined up, colours are looking not too bright, not too dark. Brighter than they are on the actual massive plasma screen. But hey, it's dark out there because it's before the dawn. Yeah, another episode, air quotes, motherfuckers, of the dawn of Commodore. Is that what I decided to call it? You know what? I can't fucking remember. All I know is there's going to be loads of typing in the dark because it's really fucking early, mate. Yes, don't need a directory, you just need a bastard file browser to load. We're back on the real C64. Garibaldi biscuits from episode 2 have finished, so there's no fucking Garibaldi biscuits. However, in another 36 hours I can touch the packet of the new ones that were delivered yesterday. So there is that. So, being careful not to use the joystick plugged into joystick port 1 with the file browser. They really need to change whatever it is that causes that to exit if you push the joystick a certain way. So yeah, after using the C64 microswitch piece of shit joystick, which I had to fix 2 design flaws on, for a total cost of like, you know, maybe 30 pence, 20 pence at retail. You know, we're talking a few pence in terms of component costs. But yeah, the C64 microswitch joystick feels like holding a fucking bag of sugar next to like using a zip stick. And if you don't know what a zip stick is, I don't know how you found my channel and haven't bothered to check out what one is. And the USB to Atari joystick adapters don't work with a C64 full size, so that's on the floor now. I couldn't give a shit. Now, let's see what we've been putting on the SD card a long time ago. Right, Cycle Night is a game I wanted to play, but doesn't appear to be working with the SD drive. A common problem. So we're going to have to invest in a tappawina, I think. Done interview. I think I've done Jungle Drums. Done Kickoff 2. Not as good as Kickoff 1. Oh yeah, Luft Rousers, that's where it is. But it don't bloody work on the SD Type C, does it? No sir. I have to have a go of Pac-Land if it fucking works. Damn fucking crack. If nostalgia comes up, then you know it's fucked. Their cracks really work with the SD Type C. Now, I could go back and play Knight Rider again, even though you haven't got an idea what the fuck I'm talking about, because I haven't uploaded any of these yet. These are actually really new videos. Matt Hancock apparently has got COVID-19. That's how new they are. We're having American instant coffee, which is the same as British instant coffee, but instead of 1 teaspoon of coffee powder, you use 1/4 of a teaspoon. Tastes better than hot water. I'll leave it at that. We're not doing a review on the coffee. Damn it, the tobacco is too fresh. Being cheeky to me, innit? Fresh, don't get fresh with me, tobacco. Yeah, Get Fresh was a Saturday morning show in the mid-80s. And it was a bit like the Saturday Superstore, which was a few years earlier when that started. And that did actually review Beachhead. That's where I saw Beachhead. Actually, I'm not sure if I saw it before I bought it. I may have actually seen that. May have actually seen that before or after I bought it. I'm not sure now, but I do remember them saying it was £10, which was expensive, and yeah, that was the first of two £10 cassette games on the C64. Before that, everything was 8 or 9 quid, and the Spectrum games were like about 6 or 7 quid, and you know, the Vic 20 ZX81 stuff was like 5 or 6 quid, and a quid was a lot of money in them days. You probably only got 30 quid a week's wages, and you'd be happy with that. You could live off that. So anyway, run stop to get out of this, even though it's actually a stop key. That's not a bad picture, I suppose. My mate used to play Pac-Land. It's going to be really funny if I've already reviewed this game. Oh, the camera does not like these particular flashing lines, but I do. I think they're great. Could stare at these for ages. After half a bottle of Jack Daniels. God damn it, where's the lighter? Oh, actually, no, we've got a torch. There we go. You want trainers? Yes, yes, yes. There we go. Put the volume down. So let's have a little story then. I was quite fascinated by Pac Billy's Amiga 4000 story. I thought that was quite interesting. He does stuff like that. He has like anecdotal, you know, stories, whatever you want to call them, type videos while he's playing games. So maybe we're going to have the story of Mad Commodore and the Amiga 1200. That I still own, so there is a happy end to the story. I didn't sell that, although technically I may have sold my Amiga 1000 to have extra money to be able to buy a 1200. But anyway, let's go all the way back. All the way back to the beginning. Now I believe the Amiga format issue that actually reviewed the Amiga 1200 had you know, some sort of cartoon wow, you know, spiky bubble type thing with primary colours. I think it was that one. And we'd already read, I believe, about the Amiga 4000. We knew that was coming out. However, Commodore had done quite a good job of keeping the Amiga 1200 secret. Except for the fact it's a really stupid idea to keep it fucking secret. How many fucking years were Nintendo going on about, ooh, Nintendo 64 is going to be like this, it's going to do this, it's going to be 1 billion times better than the PlayStation. Yeah, right, mate, it was just a different compromise. It's like the difference between a C64 and an Amstrad CPC. They both cost about 200 quid. Forget buying it with a monitor. The Amstrad, that is. And they just had completely different pros and cons. I'll admit it straight away, the 16 colour mode on the Amstrad is much better. Unless you need 3 grayscales. one thing it doesn't have on the Amstrad. Why am I talking about the Amstrad? Ah yeah, Nintendo 64. I told you I need them fucking Blackberries. Better not chop any of them down. So, yeah, Commodore should not have kept that a secret. But anyway, I remember reading that developers had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Not that they produced fuck all software worth of shit for the 1200, but and they were asked would they like 2 megabytes of RAM instead of 1, or a high density disk drive instead of the standard one that comes with the Amiga 500. Now the Amiga 4000 did come with a high density disk drive, so it's like nearly I think it's going to be 1.8 megabytes. It's certainly more than a PC or an ST would use, because the Mega ST also had high density floppy disk drives, and the Falcon I presume as well. That's good hot water with a hint of coffee, I tell you. Because I can't have the heater on and the C64 on at the same time. There's not enough plugs in this room. It's fucking ridiculous. They have like one plug in every massive room. And in the most stupid place you could have a plug in that room. Absolutely useless. But it just seemed to appear out of nowhere. And it was just in Amiga format. And it was like, wow. Those fantastic graphic modes of the Amiga 4000 are actually in this £399.99 2 megabyte Amiga 1200. Sadly, they didn't put 2 sound chips in there to double up the sound channels. Oh yeah, this is Commodore we're talking about. And I was like, oh, I've got to have that. And it was not that long before the UK launch that Amiga format covered it. So I was like, yeah, this is what the Amiga really needs. It needs a new graphics chip. Maybe they'll do something with the sound later. But to be quite honest, in 1992, what was that fucking... I can't remember what the Roland card is called. Is it MT32? It's also called the LAPC1. And it was like a free 400 quid MIDI sound module or a card for PCs. And all I can say is DOS game soundtracks using that most expensive Rolls Royce of sound cards on the PC in the early 90s. They kind of sounded like those toy synthesizers you get in the market today for like 15-20 quid. They weren't brilliant. They were 16-bit quality audio, but what's the point of having rubbish fixed instruments? Because all the sounds, like the sound effects, came from the Sound Blaster card, which wasn't much better than the Atari STE. That was for Sound Blaster stereo. So, you know, it wasn't a big thing for me that, you know, the Amiga only has like blah 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 and Super Stardust, and I think Stardust as well would prove it, because it has 6-channel sound on a 4-channel sound chip on an arcade game. So I was like, I've got to buy that. And I was like, by that time, I don't think anyone of my friends, yeah, we'll call them that, were interested in the Amiga. But my friends at university were. That was quite interesting. None of them bought an Amiga 1200, but I did. I found out the launch date. Now the next bit I'm not sure about, but I must have walked into the high street to make sure that they'll be stocking it on launch date. In the UK, it was September 92. Can't remember the exact date, or even if it was beginning or end of September. But I do know with my grant check for my university course that I spent it pretty much all on a 486, so I wouldn't have to stay late at university and use their smelly, bogey covered, grimy PCs to do my coursework. Well, fuck you. And yeah, well, you know, how bad can the PC be? But that's another story. So there I am, and you know, I'm standing outside, I believe it was Dixon's, but it could have been Curry's. Before they opened, there was no one else there. There was people in the shopping centre, but they were just walking up and down as normal, going towards other shops. Anyway, they open up the shop, I go straight in there, I buy an Amiga 1200, off straight home, and yeah, because it was like, if you need a new Amiga with more colours for deluxe paint, although deluxe paint AGA wasn't ready for when that come out, I don't believe, but the good thing was it was bundled with pretty much every A1200, so you know, that was great for pixel art. What do those cocksuckers on Windows get? Fucking what is that shit fucking thing called? Is it called Paintbrush? That shitty Windows. Yeah, anyway. PC was not for creative people in 1992, it was for fucking dickheads or people who had to use serious software on it, whether they liked it or not. And yeah, I should probably explain that on the course I was on, there was probably, you know, 50 or 60 people, and there was somewhere between 10 and 20 PCs and Unix workstations combined for you to be able to do any work on. And those machines were not exclusive to people on you know, the computer science course or anything. And there was a HND and a degree going on anyway, so it wouldn't have helped much. So yeah, that's why I got a PC. How the fuck am I going to run DBase 3 and what was the other one? There was some famous C compiler, we had to use that. But yeah, mostly it was DBase 3 stuff. They only accepted electronic submissions in particular PC formats, and yeah, but I got my A1200, and that was actually, I was really happy with the A1200 for the new creative opportunities it gave you. You know, let's not talk about the negative side of all the cock-ups with that design, but you know, they shipped something, that was important. If the games were there, if people had started doing Amiga 1200 games, you know, within 9 months, 12 months of it coming out, that were as revolutionary as Marble Madness in 1986 on the Amiga 1000 by Electronic Arts. That sort of game-changing, wow, that looks a hell of a lot like the arcade. Well, if you think what 1992 arcade machines were capable of, whatever you do, don't go and check out Street Fighter 2 AGA or anything like that, they're all shit. And that was really the problem the Amiga 1200 had. Same problem the CD-TV had. There's nothing wrong with the CD-TV. But there's no difference between, you know, DOS floppy disk games and DOS CD-ROM games, except, you know, they just have more space. It's like a very slow, very rubbish, massive hard drive on a silver disc. Brilliant, brilliant idea. So the CD-TV, if it had been sold as an Amiga CD based computer instead of some stupid bit of fucking you know, gadget tech for the audio gadget freak. And yeah, I think things would have turned out a lot better. But no, when the 1200 came out, I was really happy with it. I had a bubble jet printer which I'd bought. I think it was it the Canon BJ10 or was it one of the really early ones, monochrome bubble printer. And I used using that with my PC, and luckily that was supported on the Amiga quite easily. So I used to make these massive pages in Deluxe Paint 3. My original copy that I bought for like 80 quid. So I had an original DigiPaint 3 as well, I think it was. Or was it DigiPaint? The latest one anyway, DigiView 4. So I used to buy all that shit. And yeah, I used to make these massive page sizes in Deluxe Paint. You can only view like a maximum of 640 by 512 kind of thing at a time. So there's that. But that's fine if you're doing like really fancy technical drawings. So I printed this out using a little switch that said, you know, print at the printer's native resolution, and used to like get these really tiny, really detailed graphics being printed on the bubble jet printer. Now of course if you printed at the printer's native resolution, it'd be like looking at an Amiga high-res screen on a little 6-inch fucking LCD, maybe even less than that. So but you could create these massive pages in Deluxe Paint, you know, because I did have a 2 megabyte, you know, machine now, and I just set it to 2 colours or 4 colours only to save the memory, and you know, off you go. You know, design it, do your flowcharts, whatever, print them, and everyone, I remember this, everyone was like, wow, these are brilliant, how did you do these? And I said I did them in a paint package, and they said, oh right, what paint package did you use? You got a copy of it? That was like the second thing you always asked someone at university. Piracy was not a problem on a PC, eh? I had a mate at university, he was more prolific than any fucking Amiga disc swapper I've ever seen. He had like beta copies of Windows 95 called Windows Chicago or something, all this kind of stuff, and he was like, have you tried it out yet? And I was like, yeah, it runs like shit on my 4 megabyte 486, mate, worse than my Amiga 1000 with fucking 512K. Right, now I've got the torch out of my mouth, and you know, it's like the next thing you say, yeah, but that's on your Amiga, mate, it's not on your crappy PC. And I'll tell you what, it was like the fucking ZX Spectrum, Amstrad C64 arguments in the playground. In fact, I used to have a mate who was absolutely fanatical that the C64 was inferior to his Atari 800 from 1980, and the Atari 800 that he had was the best computer ever. Well, it's got the best colour palette, got the best, better of the 2 sound chips for sound effects. However, hasn't got the best sound chip for music, certainly not from the early 80s, which was all analog synth. And that's what my mate was like at uni. He was he had no interest in the Amiga anymore. He'd left it behind. He was he already had a 386 before we started uni. I think it was 386-33. So you know, it was a bit fucked when I think Doom come out. So we all got new PCs then. Doom runs actually okay on the 486-25. But it was unbelievable. It'd be like, I need this game, yeah, give me a day, I'll get it for you. And it's just like, it really was like the old Amiga days where you'd go down to Gold Disc in Edmonton, buy like 100 blank discs every 2 fucking weeks, and there was a mass frenzy of copying and maybe 10 minutes of fucking playing a 2-player game when you, you know, when you went to visit all your friends who had Amigas. I had 2 friends who are like active in the Amiga copying scene, and after being ripped off by things like Chase HQ and Outrun on the Amiga and the ST, I was like, fuck off. Yeah, nothing like Lotus 1 on the ST. Even the Amiga version is worse than the ST version of Lotus 1. Shit. So, you know, but artistically I did a lot with my Amiga 1200. Once D-Paint 4 AGA came out, I bought like, you know, 256 colour digitizers. I actually eventually bought the VLAB card, which had the S-Video input, and it did have this weird thing where it could control a remote control sensor, and then it could rewind and fast forward the tape in your VCR automatically by the program. And I think it was called IFR, interleaved frame recording, so it would somehow know that it had done a certain frame and on the first pass, and not digitise that one and digitise other ones and build up the entire, you know, 3 or 4 second thing from videotape. But you know, technically it'll do it from Laserdisc as well, but Laserdisc is only composite video output anyway. But yeah, whatever happened with the Amiga 1200, I know that when I went and bought that magazine, Amiga format, which I think has got like pukey yellowish green and red and blue and all these kind of like, and wow in big letters, and it's a terrible cover, but it does grab you right. It's either that or the one with the Superman logo on the front. I remember I was really happy reading that Amiga format. It was rare for me to be happy reading an Amiga format magazine because Commodore was such fucking idiots. And most Amiga software was, well, if you come from like a ZX Spectrum Plus 3 or something to an Amiga, you're probably happy with the games on it. I used to play fucking Atari 800 and C64 and VCS games before I got an ST and Amiga. So I know when they're properly coded at 50 frames per second, it stands out a mile. Games play like shit. That's the thing, VCS games may look like shit, but they're running at 50 frames per second whether they like it or not. They've got no choice. And things like on the ST, yeah, they might not look like shit like Gauntlet 1, but they sure as hell ain't running at 50 frames per second, or even 25. But the VCS is always 50 frames per second, a PAL VCS. Has no choice. But yeah, that was a thing. Now I've just noticed this game is completely fucking silent. Why would you put the credits down? There we go. So, my mate named after, well, it wasn't named after it, but he had the same name as the main computer in the Liberator. Not Aurak. So basically, I remember not thinking this was worth my money. I think it was 20p to have a go, but my mate loved it, and I don't know if he bought it for his Amstrad. I don't even know what it's like on the Amstrad. Yeah, the colours are very primary colours. BBC Micro, Acorn Electron colours, as I like to call them. We need to get that. There we go. And you get a super jump like Mario, so that's where Nintendo copied it for Super Mario. They just changed the massive PAL pellet with some weird psychedelic flower. I think the graphics are excessively blocky in the background, but so really, it's a lot like the arcade. So I can't actually say it's rubbish. It is super smooth game engine. The graphics are Commodore Chunky mode version of, you know, the very simplistic and childish colouring in book style graphics of the arcade. Now of course you have to dodge all these arseholes without the trainer option. I thought you could duck, but no. I think it's exactly like the arcade. However, what I will say is, as a game, it's not as good as Smurf Rescue on the ColecoVision. The only problem with that game is if you're using the ColecoVision joysticks, which are fucking useless. Break time. Now I could actually do a nice review of Twix biscuits, well, chocolate bar technically. See, no one actually bothered. Ah, crap. Alright, so they're like the manic miner things. Ah, crap. Well, that's a bit fucked. So that is really tricky. And they changed direction. What an arsehole. Let's see if it changes direction now, because it did seem to. So really, gameplay wise, it actually plays better than Castle of Illusion with Mickey Mouse. I think it's Castle of Illusion. Ooh. Yeah, so those things don't change direction, but it's still very difficult not to fall off a bastard thing. How'd you fucking get over that then? It's a really weird game, but I think we've seen enough of that. What the hell? Plastic Christmas tree with decorations melted in a house fire and the fairy survived. Must have been blown out the window by the explosion, innit? Oh, the music's a bit different now. We've got to go this way now. Yeah, quite a jolly game, I think. Typing in the dark again. There we go. Now I noticed in a video I did 7 or 8 months ago. I was recently watching it on my hard drive. I ain't uploaded it. Oh, I may have now, but I had mentioned, and I quote, I think I'm going to call this C64 Old Faithful, because it hasn't actually let me down. Because at the end of the day, I have used this machine a hell of a lot, and it probably wasn't used like for hours and hours a day, every day, for months and years before I bought it. So it's a bit like my car in the unfinished garage. Yeah, I haven't actually driven that car. I think it's going to be 3 years next month. So I probably haven't even started the engine for 2 months. And the last time I did start the engine, blew out the radiator hose, all the water went everywhere. There was a massive plume of white steam that went straight up in the air. And my neighbours come round because they thought, has his car just caught fire? Yeah, you try just buying that car off me and driving it home and then using it every day to go to work and come. See how far you get with that, mate? And that car is 8 years newer than this car. Although the design for that car is from the same year that the C64 came out. So, let's have a look here. Good thing we didn't change the joystick port. Always forget that. Altair 4, I had Altair 4, it's a text only adventure, we're not paying it. Done Barbarian, Hercules version 1 and 2, which I uploaded again yesterday, and I did type in Hercules, and the only one that come out was not, you know, one of these videos where I'm talking, it's like yonks old. And I'm like, hang on, I would have uploaded Hercules because I did Myth and Hercules together and I converted them to MP4 together. Why don't I upload them together? But Google said no. YouTube search in YouTube Studio didn't find it, so I uploaded it again. And of course, I've got 2 comments on it now that are like, I think you've done this video. At the end of the day, I had like, 30 gigs worth of MP4s, and I was just going through the ones I wasn't sure I had it uploaded yet, and putting them all on there so I could delete them off the hard drive. So hang on, there's a whole load of Areola soft games in here. Well, we've actually done Triaxos. Have I played Magic Marbles? Will Magic Marbles work? Well, it's only a PRG file, but even so, I have found about 2 or 3 single PRG program file C64 cracks, so once they're loaded, it shouldn't have to use a disc or tape or anything. And they don't work with the SD to AC. Some of them even came from like tape images, T64 files, not TAP, tape, full tape images. So we've got a Taki cat, not the attacker cat, in with us today. He's been very quiet, bless him. He likes this room. It's probably because he's never had a fight or anything in here, or even seen the other cat in here that attacks him instantly. It's my favourite Rob Hubbard tune there from Light Force, obviously. Nice crack throw that just went. 1986, which is the year that Marble Madness come out from EA on the Amiga 1000 anyway. Well, pushing up does something. Okay, so you start the game by pushing up, do you? I don't know what I'm doing here. You're supposed to. Oh right, okay. So this is the game. You're literally a joystick going through some grey and brown carpet tiles from the 70s. Yeah, I'd love to be able to buy them actually. You know, standard 12-inch, 30cm things, square. So I've gone in there, but what do I actually have to do? So I'm, okay, this is really weird. If you press fire on the joystick, you do that. But I'm not collecting any marbles. Oh, hang on, I have there. Hang on a minute. Is there a limit to how high you can jump? What's up there then? Okay, game over. F1 to start another game. Always try the F keys on the older games. Space. Space is actually firing joystick port 1. This is a weird game. Very weird game. What happens if I collect one of these ones and the black one? Okay, so if I've changed colour, does my special power change? No, not really. So you have a shadow, which is really important in games like this. Hey Jonesy, what are you doing? He's practicing his retaliatory attack defence moves on the massive Sainsbury's Forget-Me-Not elephant bag, which obviously I used because the C64 adverts had the elephants. Now why can't I change it? What have you got to do with these bloody things? Right, can I pick up another colour then? Right, okay, well the sprite clipping is actually really good. Right, so you can only jump. Why am I stuck now? Game over again. Right, interesting, but not interesting enough for me to play anymore. The thing is, I haven't been turning the camera on and off so I can splice things